Today on Suncoast View, new details for the development of the Quay Sarasota. Could the big blank spot on the Suncoast waterfront finally see new life?
It's Wrigley, our guide dog puppy's birthday, and we're celebrating with a birthday cake and a look back at his first year with Southeastern Guide Dogs, and he's excited too.
Yes, he is. Traveling with pets can be tricky. We have a travel expert here with great travel tips, from flying with your four-legged friends to spotting those extra travel fees. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Wrigley celebrating his birthday.
Our new co-host.
You're not supposed to talk right now. No.
He's got a lot to say.
He does have a lot to say. It is great to be back with everybody and Joey Panic. I may have to get Wrigley and bring him to the party because he sees we're having a party and wants to celebrate. But
you know
let's
I can help with that.
You want to go get
A
Wrigley?
kid would do the same thing.
Oh my goodness, we're a one-year-old now, but we're celebrating today because Wrigley is 1 year old.
Yes, he is.
And he apparently is quite aware that it's all about him at this moment.
Here we go.
Hi, buddy.
He's got hats, he's got
This
whistles.
is earlier when he got his birthday celebration hat.
He did. He absolutely is celebrating with his big brother Griffin, and we are excited to be part of the Southeastern Guide Dog family and to be celebrating a 1 year old who apparently just wants to be on television with all of us because that's what he was aiming for.
Well, Joey, thanks for bringing him up.
Yes,
He's
it's his
all
birthday.
excited
He gets to do
now.
whatever he
He
wants.
wanted to come to
Oh,
the
no,
party.
now that's not true.
all
He
right.
doesn't get to do whatever he wants, but
That's why I don't get to babysit.
that's right. Well, it is great to be here with everybody and great to be celebrating with Wrigley and all of you. It is also great to have a new face in the kitchen today. Steve Novak from Cleveland Kitchen, a new restaurant in Lakewood Ranch, is joining us. What are we making today?
We are going to be making our delicious Ohio City chicken, and that's served on a bed of Asian CK slaw.
Ooh. And Cleveland has a very soft spot in my heart after 10 years of living there. And Linda, you as well.
Oh, yes. Bud was head coach of the Browns. I worked at Channel 3 there. We were there a long time.
And a lot of Cleveland tastes can be found at Cleveland Kitchen, I understand, Steve.
Oh yeah, we have our stuffed cabbage rolls that are made in-house. We have our kielbasa and pierogies, which anybody from the Cleveland area knows kielbasa and pierogies. And our in-house made that we do shaved and roasted in-house is our primetime sandwich, which is shaved prime rib with sauteed onions and mozzarella provolone cheese with it.
Bringing it back to Cleveland for you guys.
Here's the only problem. Steve is now admitting, Linda, that we ate a lot of good, yummy comfort food when we lived in Cleveland.
That looked
It was
so
cold. What were you going to do?
It was cold and cloudy, and it just makes you want to eat yummy things.
And they're great cooks in Cleveland. That's the whole thing.
Absolutely. All right.
They've got some good cooks
Well,
there.
now we have an entire restaurant devoted to that, and we're excited to have Steve here with us. It is time for our first hot topic, and a nearly $1 billion Suncoast project could finally be closer to being underway. The Quay Sarasota now has a project manager. It's development manager Brett Blank. He's been chosen to oversee this and is expected to begin production, he says, later this year or early 2018. Blank says the Quay will be a new urban district full of elegance and energy right on the waterfront. He's planning nearly 700 condos, 175 hotel rooms, plus retail and office space. What do we think?
I like the retail space. I want something where the whole community can come down there, not just so a lot of people live there and the rest of us never get to enjoy
I'm not
it.
sure what I thought about 700 condos.
I was just going to say, that intersection is already extremely busy. To add 700 more people, you know,
Cars.
That's a lot,
700
and
cars.
probably more than 7, because some homes are going to have multiple people with multiple cars.
Do we have 700 more people that want to live there?
Makes me nervous. There's already
too.
a lot of condos. I would rather see more hotels, and I know the hotels that are there would like to see more hotels because they get overflow. I would love to see a convention center. I would love to see something that has activity, because when you get off 75 and you drive down Fruitville, I remember the days, you probably do too, of the Quay. It wasn't the most beautiful building,
But
but
it
it
was
was
attractive.
something was
It
happening
Well, a
there.
place
Yes.
for live music, a place for
Yes.
outdoor adventure.
Can you imagine that
Anyways.
little Bay Area, if that was filled with live music and you could walk from the Ritz to the Hyatt to whatever is going to be there now?
That would be
And
amazing.
outdoor dining, so you could sit out and watch the sunset as you had a drink.
But you know, that's part of the plan with the Bayfront 2020. So if they incorporate both areas and just combine it to a bigger district that just has a lot of things to do, That would be amazing.
But on a positive note, it's a
700
start. It's a start, right? I mean, he's in charge. He's got plans. I just think at least we can pull it
That's
forward.
not a start that I kind of can endorse. I'm sorry to
Well,
say.
I'm trying to be optimistic.
700 people?
Yeah.
I don't mind the people. I just want something that belongs to everybody and not just the people who live there, so that everybody in the community can
Have
enjoy
you guys
it.
been to that intersection? I just want to say, like right now, just to get onto the bridge.
It's true. It backs up onto Fruitville, past 41.
Yeah,
the
and
whole
then if
deal.
it's raining-
And that is also where they're talking about the traffic circle.
Oh, yeah.
And he is also in charge of that. So it's part of the same project.
I'm not a
don't
fan
know.
of roundabouts, but anything has got to be better than what's
what's
there
there
right
right
now.
now.
That's
Right.
that is a traffic situation.
You know, I was in Ireland. They've got roundabouts everywhere.
See, they should task you.
That's right.
They're the latest thing.
We'll get there. I'll just be happy to see something because that blank land just makes me crazy. It's such a beautiful
Yes.
place. Such a beautiful place. So a petition with thousands of names is circling to replace a Bradenton statue with one of Snooty the manatee. So the statue would be in front of the Bradenton courthouse and actually replace an existing Confederate statue. Another petition is circling about naming something in Lakewood Ranch after him, and tributes of flowers and lettuce, his favorite food, are popping up around the South Florida Museum. What do you think about a statue?
Oh, I love that idea, so we don't forget Snooty. And so that people know he was a big part of our community for so long.
I've never been a fan of the Confederacy, so for obvious
And
reasons.
that aside,
For obvious reasons, so
Well,
I'm
it
going
was a
to
long
say
time ago.
anything. So anything that would remove that, I would go for.
And what a nice thing, too. It's something that the community's rallied around Snooty and
Yeah.
everything he brought to the museum. So a statue to replace that would be wonderful. I would personally like it if it was a little closer to the museum.
that's what I
I'm sure,
thought.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sure
what I
they're going to
thought.
put one closer.
But it's a manatee for Manatee County, so it makes sense.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Well, anything that we can do to have everyone understand what an important piece of history he was to our area.
I just love how everyone is rallying around, you know, the museum and those that, you know, are so tied to him. And that's
I agree.
amazing. Like I was listening to a story yesterday where commissioners were actually crying, and I was like, oh my God, you know, you can feel the love they had for Snooty.
Well, Snooty was a part of everybody's life. Every kid that grew up here went to that museum and saw Snooty.
Yeah.
I think
This will be
a
nice.
statue remembrance is very appropriate.
He taught us love, and it's still going on, so he accomplished great things in his life.
Yeah, it's
Good way to
amazing.
put it. Okay, so we have employee ID cards here at ABC7, right? That's how we get in the door. Linda and Bobeth kind of lose theirs all the time.
All the time.
All the time. So maybe a simpler solution would be good for us, right?
Yeah.
Well, think about this. A Wisconsin company is offering to implant a tiny microchip
Where?
in employee hands, which would take care of getting past security, logging into computers, even buying food or getting drinks at the cafeteria. The rice-sized chip takes just seconds to implant, but would not be required. Many say this will be everywhere in the future. What do you think?
I would not have anyone
I
implant
knew
anything.
you were going to say
Either. I
that.
almost did this
excited.
just to hear her say
I
it.
knew she were.
Yes.
But you know, I heard this morning those little vacuum cleaners that run around by themselves.
Roombas.
They're-
I have one of those.
They're actually mapping your house and sending the information back, and they're going to sell
And
that
they're telling
information.
Alexa.
I've already stopped using Alexa. Don't let me stop using my
I want to,
laptop.
I want
Buy
to
it
see
off
with
you.
little-
I want one.
I want to see that little grain of sand in your hand so you can get
Oh
in
my
here.
God.
It's inevitable. I mean, I'm
no,
kind of
really?
against it, but think about the progression of it. Used to be something you carried, a card, and then it was, you know, you can pay for things with your phone, then with your watch. I mean, it's getting more to where it's wearable. It's going to happen.
But what if you
Okay,
run
yes.
out and go to Starbucks? Do you really want
Or
your
what
employer
if you
to know?
leave your
Okay.
job?
Well,
Do they take it out?
I'm sure management here would probably recommend me doing it because I literally lose my card between going through the gate and going through the door. And I don't know how. Like,
But then
I'll
you're
get
not
through
going to
the-
lose your hand.
But that's why I still would not do that, though, because I'd rather just buzz and say, hey, I'm locked out again. Can you please let me in?
I'm more a fan of either a fingerprint scan or a retina scan or
Yeah.
something. So you're reading what's already on me and identifying me as opposed to plopping something into
No,
my
you're not scanning my
body.
retina, you're not scanning my finger, and you're not implanting
I want to
anything.
know what you do wrong during the workday, though.
I don't do anything wrong.
She doesn't have time. I know
Oh,
that.
that's why I'm saying, what are you worried about, though?
Because it's my fingerprint, my retina, and I don't want everyone to be using it, and I don't know what you're going to use it for. Next thing you know, you're cloning me. I
There'll
don't
be
know.
a little Bobeth
I don't
walking
know
Hard to
around.
draw the
happens.
line. Once you
Okay.
cross into,
Yeah.
there's a word for it, and I can't place it right now, but when
Yeah.
it goes too far.
It's like,
far.
I don't want my data because I don't want it to be up to you what you're going to do with my stuff. It's mine. Let me be in charge of where it's going to go, what's going to happen to it. I give it to you. Next thing you're storing it somewhere. Someone else has stole it. Now it's being used for this. And I know that's a bit extreme, but that's where I
Well, for
I
the-
understand the thought process.
For the sake of convenience, it would be very nice because sometimes I forget money and I want something from the vending machine. So if I could just, swipe my
Right.
thumb,
But
that
then-
would be pretty nice.
And then I get paranoid too, because then I start thinking of the Bible and biblical days, and what they're gonna, I don't know, I don't like it.
I feel bad you have so much stress.
Such
There's
an
a lot to
exciting
worry about
ride.
every day.
I think they'll be bored to death following me, so I don't worry about it at all.
I just don't like to manage too many things, and it would just be easier.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep my
All right.
my
Fair enough.
body
Well,
parts
this
of
is
that.
not going to help Bobeth's stress because I know this is one of the hot topics with her, but bringing phones into the restroom. Some of us do it. Bobeth has strong opinions against it. Well, she's right. A new study confirms what she fears most. Our phones contain bacteria from the toilets. In fact, 7 times more bacteria than the toilet seat.
How can that happen?
Oh, we're not going to describe how. But it's not even just your phone in the bathroom. Your purse, 10 times dirtier than a toilet seat. Your faucets, the handles, 21 times dirtier than the toilet seat. The kitchen sponge, 456 times. I don't use one of those. But the carpet, 700 times dirtier.
You better get that Roomba working
Yeah.
to
Toilet
clean that up.
seat.
You should also never touch this is big in my family. If you are out somewhere, there's an escalator, don't ever touch the handrail because just think it just moves, nobody cleans it. Don't ever touch it. Don't touch anything.
You don't
really.
think, yeah, I was gonna say, you don't think somebody stands there with a Lysol wipe and
Nope.
no, never?
No,
I would.
No.
Everything's
is-
dirty.
Sobering.
Yeah. Now we're not gonna touch anything.
See?
Keep your hands
But
in your
that's the
lap.
joy. If you touch all these things, you develop an immunity and you don't get sick all the time.
That is true. They're saying a lot of the antibacterial gels and soaps for little kids.
Causing more
ends up
issues.
being
Maybe
bad.
we
You
worry
can be
too
too
much.
clean, and then you'll catch everything.
But I
because you will
don't
come in
want to be
contact.
too clean, but 700 times.
Right. Whose phone is that? Yeah, don't touch
Has
it.
it been in the bathroom?
I will never speak.
Exactly. All right, we're going to wash our hands, and when we come back, Wrigley is celebrating his first birthday, and he's relaxing nicely now, and that's good because we're going to give him and teach you how to give your dogs a massage.
Good afternoon. Your happy hour forecast is pretty hot. Heat index right now 100 degrees. No real relief in terms of rainfall around here along the coastline, but there it is, 100-degree heat index. The dew point temperature way up there at 75. That's due to that northwest wind at 13, bringing that higher humidity in. The pressure way up there too. High pressure pretty much right over the top of us. You can see a few showers are developing down to our south. Just not enough moisture around to kick off any big storms near us. There's one near Fort Myers, and then just a few scattered showers, mainly east of I-75. There's one near Port Charlotte, but it's just a little light rain shower right now. There's a 20% chance for an evening shower. Most of that activity will be inland. Temperatures across the state heating up in Tallahassee as well at 93. 90 in Sarasota, 92 now in Orlando. A bit cooler in the Keys, Key West at 83 degrees. And it looks as though we'll see temperatures staying warm overnight too. The tropics remain rather inactive right now. We'll have the latest on all your forecasts coming up at 5 o'clock. See you then.
Massage therapy can increase your circulation, relieve aching muscles, and comfort our joints. And it turns out what's good for humans is also good for our pets. In honor of our guide dog puppy Wrigley's turning 1 year old, we're learning how to treat our animals to a massage. And joining us is Sue Crowley from Southeastern Guide Dogs. Welcome, Sue. So
Hi.
you're a puppy raiser just like Stephanie.
I am.
And you'd say it's good for our dogs to massage them.
Everything it does for human beings, it does great things for puppies also.
Oh, that's good to know. I
Yeah.
never knew that.
Yes.
So how do we do it? Do we massage different parts?
Well, there's a couple of things to take into consideration. First is how old your puppy is. And so when you start with a young puppy, younger than Wrigley, obviously, you would start with just a little bit of short time touching and then a little bit of pressure. As they get older, like Wrigley, you would do a little bit more, longer times. Set aside a very same time every day, a very special place, to have maybe a special little rug that you have for them, so it gets them used to it.
He's getting into it now.
He's liking
He's
liking
getting
this
closer
rug.
and
He wants
closer to
Bobeth
me.
to do it.
Do you do all parts of their bodies?
So there's different parts of the bodies have been identified to help with different things. So one of the first things you can do is, and Wrigley's doing it for me, is you can just start with a passive touch, maybe just putting your hand on the back. This is a really sensitive part of their body, an acupuncture part, acupressure part. So just to calm them, they feel the warmth, and here you connect with their breathing. and just kind of like get a zen feeling going.
Oh,
with
he's
them.
calming down.
Yeah, he is, because he was a
And,
little
or,
hyper.
and if he's really good, you might try 2 spots back on his rump also. And think about what this does. It gets the dog ready to go out to have to do things. They have to maybe get their claws trimmed. So another thing you might just learn to start touching their paws and just, I know. Hello.
Thank you for the massage.
Yeah, and give them just that feeling of comfort. Another big, and I say the head is a real sensitive spot, so another thing you can do is with their ears, just take your ears between your fingers and just kind of scoot down each.
Oh, he loves that. Look at his eyes, they're closing.
I've seen Wrigley actually go into a deep sleep with this at a puppy meeting. We tried this. So you can just massage his ears, come
And
down.
you gave us a couple stuffed animals
We
to
have our own
practice on.
pets here.
He thinks they're toys.
They're not so active. So
He
we
wants
do
to
their
play.
ears.
So we do their ears.
Here, you take that ear, Joey, and I'll take
just
this one.
passive warmth of your hand on spots. And then, you know, when you go to the massage, you know, they do some kind of kneading. They call it like a
Yes.
fish. And that's really good. And he's older, so we can just really just kind of use your hands to give him a nice, gentle going down his body.
It's
Might
got to
even-
feel so good, though, because they crave touch just
They
like you
do.
do.
Our dog is very calm. Right
And he
now.
likes it. You can
Yeah.
tell.
Ruckus,
He
Ruckus
likes
is
this.
really good.
Yes.
You know, you have to sometimes take your dog to the vet for teeth problems.
Yeah.
So you might even start getting them used to, oh, yes, get them used to.
Oh, yeah, my teeth.
so
I lost my dog.
Open
You might get them
wide.
to just used to. And there's a special touch called the T-touch, which is, if you can imagine, a little clock of a watch, a clock watch face, and you just do little circles.
Circles,
the
circles,
pointer
circles.
finger that-
Kind of two fingers. Support your hand with your thumb so it's not real heavy, and just go. And you can go all over their body. Massage.
Laying on his back,
No,
that's full
he
surrender,
wants- yeah,
right?
that's
He's
good.
calm and
That's- he
comfortable.
wants
Yeah.
to be
Oh, look
So-
at that. Do you have some tips for us so we can remember when we do this for our dogs?
Well, the tips I would remember is to have it, try and do it daily, and watch your dog's body language. If they're really excited, maybe then's not the time to do it. You want them to be a little bit calmer. Never force anything. If he doesn't like it, like I was just going to touch his gums, he didn't like that, I'm not going to force that on him. If you want to make it soothing for him, it's slow, deliberate movement going with the grain of their hair. Most dogs don't like it to be
The opposite.
Going the opposite way.
Right, so front to back.
And I use that term, that Zen thing about breathing with your dog. You actually, if you are excited, you're going to just pass that to the dog. If you're very calm and breathing nice and soft, calm breaths, your
Yeah.
dog is going to get right there with you.
And that's something
And
I've
start-
learned with puppy raising in
Yes.
general. You know, if you can
Yeah.
stay calm, your animals will stay
Probably
Yeah.
the same thing applies to children.
Exactly.
Yes.
calm. I haven't learned it so much with
Well,
them.
Try the T-touch on you, Linda. How
Oh,
is
Yeah,
it's
the
working,
T-touch.
Joey.
I'm calm
going
just
to
by
sleep.
listening to
Listen
your
to it.
voice right now.
Well, we say in puppy raising, we say whatever goes down, everything goes down the leash. So as you're holding that leash, and the same thing with your touch. If you're excited or stressed or something, you're going to send that to the puppy. So if you can be calm and just breathe softly, soft voice, deliberate.
What
then-
a great
then you will
lesson.
see, and it
Thank-
works with your cats and your dogs.
Thank
All
you.
sorts of
We're going to
great
massage you every day, guys. There you go. You can get all of these tips, find out more information on the Southeastern Guide Dogs website. And coming up next, we're going to play a doggy game. There's more fun to come, Wrigley.
He's relaxing.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
We are keeping the party going with a dog-themed game. Senior producer Joey Panic apparently has a lot of time on his hands because they're always creative.
Well, listen, planning a dog party, my dog is not interested in parties, so I'm going to bring it all for Wrigley. So, you know, if you think about the number of dog breeds that are out there, there's so many. And when you start to look them up, some of them sound a little bit exotic. So, you know, they almost sound like a rich, decadent dessert. So we'll play a little game. The game is called Bark or Bite. And the way it'll work, I will give you a word, and you'll have to tell me, is this a breed of dog or is this a fancy dessert?
Can Wrigley help?
Yes, absolutely.
Wrigley, wag your tail if you know the answer.
All right, so the first one, and pronunciation, look for the spelling, that'll be better. Spinoni Italiano. Is this a dog?
Dessert.
Dessert.
The answer is it is a dog. This is Bark.
Oh,
A
look how
Spinoni
cute.
Italiano is the dog breed right here, and it is not the Italian dish of spumoni, which is what it sounds like. Yes, all right, so now you see how it goes. Couple trick ones. Curveballs coming. Barbette.
Sounds like my sister.
I'm going to go dessert.
I'm going to go with the dog.
Yes, so the answer is that a dog. It is, so this is a bark. Barbette is a shaggy black pooch, as you saw right
That's
there.
another cute one.
All right, next one. Bark or bite. Kissel.
Kissel. Oh, that's got to be a dog.
Dessert.
Dog.
It is a bite. It's a dessert.
Oh!
It is a dessert from Russia. I don't know if it's scoops of heavenly dough or something else, but it's certainly not a dog.
Looks good.
Doesn't look like a dog.
Whatever it is.
Next one, Turgole.
Turgle.
Dog.
It is a dessert. It's a bite. It's a dessert that is a specialty in Normandy. It looks almost like a creme brulee, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes, so you would not want it as a pet. Borable.
Horrible.
Borable.
Dog.
You are adorable. A borable is a dog.
Oh,
it
good.
is a dog from South Africa, actually.
I like him.
Yes,
I like
he likes
big,
you
tough
too.
dogs.
The next one, Gulab Jamun.
Oh, that's got to be a dessert.
Dessert.
Got it, Bobette. It is a dessert.
Gulab
It is a
gives it away.
delicious Indian dessert. Now, those look like the little fried dough balls, I think.
They do.
I have no clue,
With
but
coconut.
yes, it's certainly not a dog. Though, Bolognese.
Oh, bolognese.
That is dessert.
That's a dessert, yes.
I thought it was a red sauce on spaghetti.
This is a
saying.
trick question because it is a dog.
No.
Yes, it
Oh,
is. It is a dog. It's a really cute dog. But technically, anything that comes from Bologna, Italy, is bolognese.
Bolognese.
So it's also
It is a spaghetti
but it's a
sauce.
pasta sauce, not a dessert.
You
so
cheated.
I know.
So bologna comes from,
Life is full of
that's
tricks.
interesting.
That dog makes me want a dog.
I
that
know.
was so cute.
That was a cute one. It looked hypoallergenic. I have no idea if it was. A Beauceron. Do you bark or bite?
Dog.
Bark.
Bite.
Dog.
I bite
Bark.
that.
Bark.
You are all correct. It is a dog. This is a French herding dog.
Oh.
Yes, so good for hunting. All right, we're going to go out with one more. Gosh, love me for the
We are so good at this.
pronunciation. Alfajor.
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 That's got to be an alpha dog. A dog.
Dessert.
The leader
Dog.
dog.
Bite.
If you take it for a walk, you look foolish because it is a dessert. It's a popular cookie in South Africa. I'm sorry, South America. Yes.
I can't imagine where you got all these, but that was very interesting.
Yeah,
You learned
so
something.
So how do you find these
Educational.
things?
I don't sleep too much. And you know when they say, like, when you calm down and picture nothing, like in a yoga class, this is what
You
comes up.
picture dogs and
And
dessert.
desserts.
Data.
That's
Yeah.
data.
Trivia.
The mind never stops moving, but
Yes.
it keeps us laughing. So, all right, when we
like
come
that.
back, the party continues. And what's a party without party guests and cake? We're going to celebrate Wrigley's first year. Get ready, buddy. It's all about you.
Dogs and dessert.
That's right.
Yes.
Perfect.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's at FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. dietary guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Welcome back to Suncoast View, and we're going to check back in with Steve from Cleveland Kitchen in our kitchen today. And Steve, that is a mighty big pretzel you have there. Tell us about it.
It's a Bavarian pretzel. It's made by a Bavarian lady who immigrated from, to the United States. We serve it with our authentic stadium mustard. We've also alternated too. We just started a platter. It's called the Hodgepodge Pretzel Platter. We put in with the pretzel deep fried pierogies, chunked up city chicken, and kielbasa in that too.
Oh, yeah. Many memories for us Cleveland people. We look forward to joining you in just a few minutes. Well, I am a proud puppy mommy today. Our Southeastern Guide Dog puppy, Wrigley, is 1 year old today. And to help us celebrate is Kathy Saunders from Southeastern Guide Dogs. And she brought with us a future superhero, her puppy, Beverly. Kathy, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
And
thank you, Beverly.
Oh, and Beverly, of course, who's adorable. Many people don't know this, but Kathy actually gets credit for my introduction to Southeastern Guide Dogs a couple of years ago, and she stuck with us, and we kept in touch, and I could not be more thrilled than to be here now. We're taking a look back at, honestly, the only time this show has successfully surprised me. And Joey, you did it, nearly had me in tears. Southeastern actually brought Wrigley to the studio and our first introduction. And Bobeth, you knew about it.
Yes, I did. I Facebook Lived it before you even knew.
Before I knew it. Wrigley, come here, buddy. Wrigley's
It's hard to believe a year has gone by.
Wow, has he grown, though?
Yes, he certainly has. So first, before we get into his milestones, let's talk a little bit about the cutie you've brought. Tell us about Beverly.
This is Beverly. She's 13 weeks old, and she's very curious. She does most of her work with her mouth, obviously. She eats everything and likes to play. She is my family's seventh guide dog puppy that we've raised. Yes, and we picked her up a few weeks ago, and she's just an ideal puppy. She's
Are
really
each
great.
one different?
Every one. It's like your children. You think, you know, you raise them the same, and everyone is different. They all have their own unique personalities, and she's not afraid of anything yet, which is really good.
Yeah, she has a lot of
She's
confidence.
very busy. She's got a lot to do, and she loves a party. So she was happy to celebrate.
She's in the perfect place. That's right. Well, we are glad that she is at Wrigley's party. And, you know, you mentioned confidence and being busy. As you go through that first year, keeping them busy is certainly part of it. So Wrigley wanted to show everybody his favorite way to stay busy, especially in the summer heat. This is where he tries to spend as much time as possible. He doesn't necessarily, he can only swim if invited, but he actually prefers just to stand and splash. So that is how he spends a lot of time.
I just want to point out that you all are saying the B word quite a bit, and I'm surprised the dogs aren't running to use the restroom.
Oh, yes.
We learned not to say the B word.
That is, for someone who doesn't understand Joey's joke, the way we train the guide dog puppies to use the restroom is the word B-U-S-Y. And I did tell the staff very early on, don't start yelling, I'm B-U-S-Y here, or we're going to have a problem.
There'll be a lot of using the bathroom.
There'll be a lot going on here.
She found the cookie bag.
Oh, yes, she did.
And, she'll just take
But
a
you
half.
can see the difference in a year of maturity, because Wrigley does understand that there's a lot going on around him and that he is just going to wait until he is given instructions. So
Beverly's opening the bag for both of them.
we're going to take a little bit of a walk through. This was Wrigley at Beverly's age when he came to us. This is his bed at the station where he spends most of his day just waiting. He likes to go on outings, went to visit the football players on the field, went to visit the Southeastern Guide Dog Heroes statues in Sarasota, because socialization is a lot of what we did. This was his first puppy meeting, and this is a big joke in our puppy raiser group that when Wrigley thinks there's too much going on, he just checks out. He'll just wait. Just wait until it gets better. This was his first bath, and his big brother is helping and laughing, might I add. Look at you standing there. Halloween, so he's about 4 months old in that picture.
He's starting to look like his grown-up self in that picture.
He is. He was dressed as
like
a dragon.
crocodile.
Yes, he
I thought
tolerated
he was an
that.
alligator, yeah.
Photographer Cliff Rolls has spent a lot of time coming here and photographing him. Also at a guide dog puppy meeting, visiting the Tampa Theater. So he has been out and about doing many, many different things. But Kathy, I want to take a minute and talk to you about the way milestones are marked in that first year. You've actually made a cake with 3 candles, and each candle stands for something. Tell us about the first one.
The first one is, you know, the initial puppy phase. And yes, and so we need our raisers to love the puppies.
Well, that was easy.
Yes, we need them to help them to be housebroken. We need them to learn, you know, basic being a puppy.
And house manners.
And house manners are
how not to chew a cord.
That's
how
the
to do
most
the
important
things.
thing a puppy raiser can do, because once they go in for training, they're not learning house manners.
Well, Wrigley's not perfect.
Yes.
He has a couple of things we struggled with.
Don't look, Beverly.
This is my favorite, and honestly, to this day, I can tell his mood by where he chooses to sit in the car. Guide dog puppies are required to sit on the front passenger seat on the floor, and if he's in a mood, he will challenge me, and he will look at me and say, not today, and then we have a little battle, and we go on. But, you know, he learned to work with small children. He learned to be around toys without destroying them. We're still working on that as well. But I love the fact that it's like your child. You watch them develop a skill, and then they hold on. So our house manners are in pretty good shape.
House manners are key.
Okay, what's number 2?
I would say that next candle would be to learn to learn some of their basic obedience skills. To learn sit, stay. Oh, sorry.
He heard one.
He's a good boy. you know.
There he goes.
There he goes.
There we
Good
go.
boy. Heel. You know,
Right.
we teach you your basic obedience so that you can help the dog calm down. And, you know, not only just to be obedient, but we want to, that helps your dog calm down. If you're in a very stressful situation, you pull your dog to your side and say, heel and sit.
Right.
And that comforts them. And so that's, you know, another reason why we work on those obedience
And these are the
skills.
building blocks for when he goes in for formal
These are
training.
the building blocks. And we use treat training. And our trainers would use clicker training. And so
Okay.
every time they do what we want, we tell them yes and we give them a treat. So they know that's how they learn what we want them to do.
He knows that word. Beverly knows that word.
Beverly
She
knows
came
that
forward
word.
for
All
treat.
right,
Oh, look
quickly,
at that.
quickly
Yes.
tell us about the third
The
candle.
third one is going on outings, learning the confidence, you know, to be able to meet children and not be afraid, to go to Publix, to go to the doctor appointment, to, you know, that's why we do our puppy meetings at various places.
To be in the checkout line
To be
and
in
not
the
try
checkout
the
line.
candy. That was a tough one.
That is a very...
He loved
Yes.
the airport. He enjoyed
Yes.
TSA. He was
Yes.
happy to be patted down.
Yes.
He was the only one.
Yes. So that's you know, that's kind of where we're at. And then
He gets his fourth candle
his fourth
today.
What is his
candle
fourth candle?
is confidence.
Oh, I'll put it
And
in forehand,
get your
right in the
confidence?
I
center.
think
Come over here.
Wrigley is doing that very
And here's
well.
another look at this. Beverly's very
Beverly
confident.
has
well on her way to her
problem
She
with
is going to
confidence.
get that bag.
Yes.
The
she is.
confidence to be a leader for another human being.
Exactly. And you know that disobedience that you see, that sort of, he doesn't want to sit in the car
The
where he's
testing.
supposed to, that's a really good quality in a guide dog. It's really hard for a puppy raiser, but he's making choices.
Okay.
And you know, when they're in charge of someone's life, they have to make a choice.
So if I say, let's say I'm a blind person, I'm trying to
Yes.
tell them to go,
Yes.
and Wrigley realizes that this
Wrigley-
is not a place that he can go.
Correct. And
Well, we should
Wrigley's
keep
job is to
celebrating.
stop.
We should
Wow.
keep celebrating Wrigley while we go to break.
Happy birthday,
We will do
Wrigley.
that. A big
birthday,
thank
Wrigley.
you to
You
Kathy
are
and Southeastern Guide Dogs for bringing Wrigley gifts. And we will, of course, keep following his progress as he gets one step closer to going for formal training, which we call college. So, of course, you can always follow Wrigley. He has an Instagram and Twitter page at Wrigley's View, and he will be posting party pictures today. He's taking a break now, but the party is just beginning. So thank you so much. And Beverly, thank you for joining us as well. The cute
that
baby
cake?
puppy.
Here.
No cake for you. No cake for you.
We'll be right back with some travel tips.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Haley Wilkes. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. Spending millions of dollars to widen a popular road in Northport when construction on Price Boulevard could begin. Plus, a Tervis Tumbler fundraising campaign over the July 4th holiday. How much money will be donated to our disabled veterans? Now, let's head over to Bob.
Haley, a hot one this afternoon. Temperatures 90 degrees with the heat index, what it feels like out there, what your body has to deal with, 100-degree temperature. And the dew point way up there as you would expect. Winds out of the west-northwest at 13, the pressure high, and that's suppressing most of the thunderstorm activity. The high-pressure ridge is over the Gulf of Mexico, but it is nosing right on into the west coast, and that is limiting the shower activity. We've had a few storms around mainly east of I-75, but only a few. You can see heavier activity near Fort Myers, a few showers down to eastern portions of Manatee County, but nothing going on near the coast. More at 5.
The official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Download yours today.
I am a veteran. My victory was finding the strength to be a champion.
My victory is having a job I can be proud of.
At DAV, we help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
My victory was finishing my education.
My victory was getting help to put our lives back together.
DAV provides veterans with a lifetime of support.
My victory is being there for my family.
Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to?
Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
And welcome back. Ultra-low-cost airlines have been making headlines lately as Frontier and Allegiant have increased the number of flights at nearby airports. But while the flights may be at low ticket price, the hidden fees can add up. So we brought in a professional travel expert and the host of Jet Set, Galen David, to give us some advice. Now, Galen, I'm big on this. Like every weekend I try to go somewhere and I'm always looking for the cheapest tickets. But these fees can add up.
Yeah, they can. And, you know, there used to be a time when low-fare airline just meant an airline like JetBlue or Southwest, where the fares were lower than the major carriers. And then came the ultra-low-cost airlines. So if you're going to fly and you want some of the extras, think about what JetBlue offers. JetBlue offers, you know, some of the things that you're used to. You get your complimentary snacks, and you get your Wi-Fi and entertainment. You get a lower fare. Now, Southwest offers both of those things too, the snacks, the beverages, the Wi-Fi, and you also get the checked bag. So that's another fee that you're not going to have to pay.
Yeah.
I will say, when you fly an airline like JetBlue or some of the majors, that the way to not pay for that checked bag fee sometimes is to get that credit card. Yeah, get that credit card.
Really? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, you know, right now we're doing a comparison between low cost, like for instance with Southwest, and then an ultra low cost. So what is the difference between
Well,
the two?
the difference with an ultra low cost is, you know, you see those fares where they say, hey, Allegiant is going to start flying from
$49?
$49, and you get all excited, and you go and you look at the website, and you find out that by the time you've selected your seat, you've checked a bag, you've done those things, your fare can sometimes more than double, and you find out that you don't even have to go through that hassle, and you could book with another airline and just, you know.
It's automatic.
It's automatic. You know, it really depends on what your expectations are, and if you want to just go through and coast through the travel experience, sometimes you just have to make that choice and decide.
So I know we were just looking at some of the amenities that you get with the ultra low, and I don't know if we can pull it back up, but what are those when you're talking about
for a lot,
Spirit
it looks
and
like.
you know what are you paying for?
This is something that's really okay with Spirit, Frontier, Allegiant. You know, the checked bag fees are always going to be there. Now they will say, yes, you can come on with a bag that fits underneath the seat in front of you. People sometimes forget that, and they go to the airport with the rollaboard, and you are charged to use the overhead compartment.
Which is crazy.
Which doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that the major airlines have jumped on board, and they're offering,
no.
yes, they're offering a basic economy fare that does the same thing. You pay for that overhead, so you have to be very careful when you book on major airlines that you're not getting their basic product. That's how they refer to it,
Now,
as
I
basic.
will say one thing in defense. I just flew an ultra-low carrier, and nobody had anything to store because of the fee. We got on that plane and off that plane like that.
Yeah.
So there is the
that's
bonus
good.
of that.
Did you check your bags?
I did check one.
That's because they charge more to do the carry-on than they do to put your luggage underneath.
Yeah, it really depends. I mean, personally, it's an individual choice. Personally, I get anxious when faced with, you know, selecting ahead of time whether I'm going to check a bag, paying to change my seat. I prefer to go ahead and just get an all-inclusive ticket that lets me go ahead and do those things. And there's just less anxiety
Especially
when you
if it's
travel.
vacation, you don't want to get stressed out about what I can't bring, or I have to share a bag.
Well, it bothers me that if it's a cheap flight, maybe it's a cheap airplane, too. So it might not be as
Well,
safe.
I'm going to say something. Without mentioning the airline, I will say that one of these ultra low-cost airlines does have an issue with not having accidents, but actually planes returning because of maintenance issues. So sometimes you are going to have, a convenience problem with,
Absolutely. You need to tell us about the airline off air, because I need to make sure I'm not getting that.
Yeah, and you have to be sure that they don't pull out of a city, because a lot of times they will start service to a new city, and when they find out that it's not booking as heavily as they want, they pull out.
Right. Without telling the people who hold tickets.
Tell us about
the money. And we keep talking about these hidden fees. What does it mean to the airlines?
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
they making money?
Airlines were trying forever to figure out a way to make money, and these extra fees, ancillary fees, they are making the airlines billions. And Spirit makes the most. They've mastered it. So they make almost $50 a passenger, and it goes all the way down. I mean, Alaska Airlines, which is rated the best airline over and over again, they still make money on the fees. So people find that sometimes paying that fee gets them the seat that they really want. So they like being able to get that.
All right. Well, thanks for the tips. And you're going to stick around. You can actually catch Galen at his show, The Jet Set, and he has a lot more tips on that. And it comes on, I can't remember the exact day.
Well, it's a weekly show, so in each city it's syndicated. It comes on at a different time, so check the website and it gives you the time it comes on in your city.
And you are sticking around. He's going to give us tips about traveling with our guide dogs, or just your pet in general. We'll be right back.
From a baby's first steps to walking your daughter down the aisle, so many of life's precious moments are spent on our feet, and every step you take contributes to a healthier heart. By walking briskly for just 30 minutes a day, you can lower your risk for heart disease and stroke. So join us and take the first step to a healthier, longer life. The American Heart Association. Life. Life is why.
If you want 24/7 access to ABC7's breaking news stories, weather forecasts, traffic alerts, health reports, Suncoast View, and more ABC7 programming, now there's good news. Introducing the free ABC7 channel on Amazon Fire TV, your 24/7 access to ABC7. Just search ABC7 on the streaming device and download the free ABC7 channel app. Or if you don't have an Amazon Fire TV, you can get one at Amazon.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
Download ABC7's all-new official Suncoast weather app onto all your devices so you can stay informed wherever you go. With our full-featured all-new weather app, you can get weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. ABC7's all-new official Suncoast weather app, sponsored by Mr. Sparky. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download yours today.
And welcome back. Travel expert Galen David has been giving us some expert tips on how we can travel for ourselves. But what happens when we travel with our pets? All right, Galen, you know, you've given us some things, but what should we do? You know, are there choices that we need to make when making the right airline and the right hotel?
Well, you know, the airlines are pretty much the same when it comes to traveling with pets. I mean, if you have a small pet, like if your pets weigh 20 pounds or less, or you have two that equal 20 pounds or less, they can travel in a carrier underneath the seat. And then other special arrangements need to be made for larger dogs.
Is there a fee to bring it on board the airplane under your seat?
There is. It's about $100 in each direction. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's not
puppy
free.
is staying home.
Exactly.
What about hotels generally? What can we expect or look for?
Really check with the hotel. Call the hotel directly and ask them their pet policy.
Oh,
And then
look at ya.
certain hotel chains have great you know, arrangements for pets. Like Kimpton Hotels has a great pet travel program. And then I also was with Fairmont Hotels, and they have a great pet travel program, and they do special things like actually provide meals for your pets. With your room service, some food comes for your dog. Yes. So it's nice. And so I took my two Yorkies on a little weekend getaway.
I see.
And
How
it
cute.
was just the best. Oh,
Galen, these are amazing tips. And again, if you guys want to get more information about travel tips, you can catch Galen's show, The Jet Set, by visiting his website and watching it there. And next, we're going to be heading to the kitchen. Cleveland Kitchen is bringing Cleveland to the Suncoast. We'll be right back.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Haley Wilkes. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. How to properly say goodbye to a beloved Suncoast manatee, what the South Florida Museum is planning as a public memorial for Snooty. And now taking a quick look at Suncoast Traffic Watch. Traffic is backed up on US 41 in the northbound lanes. This is right near Fruitville Road in Sarasota, but I-75, as you can see, is moving smoothly. Now let's head over to Bob.
Haley, not many storms around to cool us off. Just a few isolated cells, mainly east of I-75 this afternoon. A little bit below average activity as a result of some dry air and a large area of high pressure, which continues to suppress most of the thunderstorms. We have a few in the eastern portions of Manatee County. Produced a couple of lightning strikes there in southeast DeSoto County. Currently, it's sunny, it's hot. The heat index at 100. More coming up at 5. See you then.
The official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. Download yours today.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055. Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Coming up Wednesday at 4 on Suncoast View, we will learn how physical therapy isn't just for recovering from injuries, it can help with our common daily complaints. Plus, American Stage Theater Company previews their new show about the perils of the digital age, plus new products to get your drink on, and we'll get healthy with crop juice in the kitchen.
And welcome back. Right now we're in the kitchen with Steve Novak from the Cleveland Kitchen. And what are we making?
We are making Ohio City chicken.
Oh.
Ohio City chicken.
Ohio City chicken. City chicken come out of the Depression era,
Okay.
when pork was actually cheaper than chicken, and the people wanted something that looked like chicken, like a drumstick. So what they would do is they would take the pork with seasonings and everything and form it onto a skewer. And then, so that's what we're going to do.
Wait, so Ohio City chicken isn't chicken?
It's not chicken. It's pork.
It's pretend like
It's
chicken.
pork.
I don't trust
It's
anything
ground
anymore.
pork.
No, you can't.
Let's make it.
So how do we
So,
start?
We start with 3/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese.
Oh. So far, so good with
Then
me.
3/4 cup of breadcrumbs.
All right.
2 large eggs.
So it's kind of like a mini meatloaf.
Kind of like a meatloaf, yes. And then 1 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
Okay, this is easy enough so far.
And this just gets mixed up real nice here, incorporating all the breadcrumbs and the cheese and the eggs together.
You can get out your aggressions. You
Get
squeeze,
like that, you know,
squeeze.
exactly. Get in there and really just squeeze it out and get it in mixed real well. And with our city chicken too, we serve it on top of our CK Asian slaw.
Oh, okay.
So it's a nice mixture of cabbage. There's parsley in it. There's also Brussels sprouts too.
That's
so
a
it's
nice
a nice
combo
So
with
healthy.
the pork.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so once you have it all mixed in
So now
together,
I'll hand
what's
this down
next?
to you.
Okay.
And you want to make elongated, well, I'll show you what we have because we
Okay.
got a finished product here. So you want to kind of get it in a little ball and then stretch it out over a skewer.
Okay, and a little
ball.
ball.
Haven't got the little ball idea yet, but
And then you put the skewer through the ball? Is
Yeah.
that how you do
we're
it?
just building
kinda
it
like
over
that.
it.
She's got the
I
idea.
see.
And just form it really nice and tight around it.
So it's like a meatloaf on a stick, kind
I
of.
know,
right?
it's very interesting.
I mean, a lot nicer than that, of course.
Hey, because I'm cooking
That's it,
it,
that's
it's going to
perfect.
taste nice,
Yes.
a lot nicer.
Because you won't get it many places when Bobeth cooks it.
There you
This is
go.
a rarity.
So then we're going to go and put it in the flour mixture.
Is this
and roll
tight
it in.
enough?
That's tight, yes.
Okay. Roll, roll, roll. Your.
Watch it. Well, you're going to
Gently down
get your
the
sleeve in there. So
Okay, now this.
now into the egg wash.
Oh, here we
Put it
go.
like that.
I have learned so much on this show. I would have put it in the egg first, but I know better now.
And then that.
Is
then
this
pack
something you
it on really nice.
would you order this at any restaurant in Cleveland? Would this be served at home?
At home, I mean, if you have somebody who's, you know,
Someone
who
like
grew up
us.
on it, that, you know, they grew up on it, would still make, you know, city chicken.
So it's kind of a comfort food.
It's a comfort food, a great comfort food.
Nice.
You don't always see it in a lot of restaurants because it is, you know, it's something you would see up in the
Homemade
Midwest.
stuff,
Right, and a lot of things on your menu are reminiscent and also from actual restaurants in Cleveland that people will recognize.
Correct.
All
Then
right.
we take it and we put it in. We
They're a little
fry it up.
crunchy.
They look like corn cobs.
Yeah.
They do.
So we just fry it up real nice until it's nicely brown.
Yes.
That's the big one.
Push back.
We're excellent.
So it browns up real nicely. And then you got to make sure it's got an internal temperature of at least 160 degrees so
be
it's
safe.
cooked properly.
Yes.
So if not, you can always put it in the oven for like about 10 minutes at 350 degrees.
And how long does that take?
And the magic to
The
television.
magic of television. Please
All
take.
right. I mean, we just eat them with our, like corn.
Oh, just you eat it
I
just
want to
like.
watch you eat it, just like a corn cob.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
You gotta
Let me
take your
off my
gloves off.
Okay,
Lynn and
gotta take
Bobeth
your
worked
gloves
very
off.
hard on these.
Oh, that's right. All right, everybody
right.
dig
Oh,
in. Oh, you too,
Oh, I'm
Steve. You
gonna
gotta
eat
eat
too,
your
so-
cooking. And actually, Steve brought a special sweet wine to toast Wrigley's birthday. Along
Wrigley, happy
to
birthday.
compliment your food.
It's Royal Tokai,
we
which is an
go.
aperitif wine made in Hungary.
And goes perfectly with the many comfort foods. And of
does.
course, we have Wrigley's birthday cake, but this is specially for him. Oh, thank you, Joey. And Mom gets a hat. So we're going to let Wrigley eat the cake while we enjoy the great food from Cleveland Kitchen.
Thank
It
you,
is
Bobette.
a new restaurant
Thank
in
you.
Lakewood Ranch. Check it out, some very great Midwest comfort food there. All right, well, a big thank you for celebrating Wrigley's birthday with us and to Southeastern Guide Dogs for joining us. Steve, we've learned a lot.
Thank you.
We
Thank you for
enjoyed
having
the
us on.
flashback. It's great to see you. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day and take some time and enjoy the Suncoast.
I feel like I lived in Cleveland after eating that.